Hello everyone and welcome to the Kansas Speedway for the 5th race of our Craftsman Truck Series season here, where we are running the full season. Enfinger and Kligerman are on the front rows. We get underway here at Kansas. Enfinger, Heim, Kligerman at the front as we are here at the back of the field, but we've already torn our way up to around the top 30, top 25 here, tearing it up on the outside lane, flying by the outside of the field here at Kansas. Does moving right by Craftsman, now outside of Gralla, Rhodes, and Brett Holmes as we continue to move up just easily, just torching, slicing, and dicing our way through the field. And on the outside of Kyle Busch right there, and inside Chastain and Freeze, just like that, we're in the top 10, top 5 on the outside of Kligerman. Contact, he saves it, we save it. We stay green, avoid causing a massive incident because of that, which we definitely could have caused the big one. As we get back up here down the front stretch, we're going to see up here, oh, the shift trouble, we got a big crash. Taylor Gray, Tyler Ankrum into the wall, Jake Garcia spinning, huge hits back there. I think that is the 44 of Caden Honeycutt is involved, the Benedetto, Tanner Gray, hard crashes here. The big one strikes at Kansas, Friesen and Ben Rhodes, a big contact back there as the big one erupts here at Kansas on lap 2. See the 35 of Jake Garcia involved, as is the 16 Tyler Ankrum. The big hit there for the 44 machine. That is Caden Honeycutt, who piled into Jake Garcia. We're going to get a full replay here. It actually started up here with Tyler Ankrum and Taylor Gray. As the 17 Taylor Gray turns Tyler Ankrum right down the front. They both spin right up the track. Huge hits into Garcia. Chastain freezing goes down the roads up there. And then Garcia just gets hit hard multiple times by Honeycutt, Chase Purdy. Sorry, not Chase Purdy. Tanner Gray, Roger Caruth involved back up here. More trouble. Lawless Allen, that is. And the O2 machine is Stephen Parsons involved as well. And now we are up here at the front running in third, trying to throw a huge block on Kligerman. And we get a big run here in the back of Corey Heim. Go right underneath him for a second. We try to get by Enfinger for the lead. We slide way up the track. Give Enfinger a big bump. We get loose, allow Heim to get back on the inside. Now we're going to try to block Zane Smith for third as we race him back to the line. Big contact. We go through the grass, passing the grass. Zane Smith makes it happen. We hang on for a fourth and a wild end to this opening 2 laps of racing with the big one. And afterwards, we're going to get into Zane Smith. A little bit frustrated with him passing us through the grass, and we slam him into the wall in the dumbest move ever. So that is definitely a Goomba kind of move right there. So we restart in second anyways. We stay on the racetrack, sit behind the 23 of Grant Enfinger as they are scouting everywhere behind us. But we are now going to try to chase down the 23, get for the race lead as we are gone just like that in the turn 1 and 2. We sail way off ahead of the 23 of Grant Enfinger and take the lead comfortably. I see the rest of the pack here trying to get their way through the corners without wrecking big time this time. So of course, on the last little restart, we had that big one. This time, the field seems to be doing just fine as we seem to be pulling away with the lead. I mean, big time. We are sailing away. But don't worry, the pack will catch back up shortly and end our little party as we continue to drive away here in Kansas. And now we move on to lap 9. Enfinger underneath us. We throw a block, hold him off. Here comes the 43 of Daniel Dye and the 13 of Haley Deegan up here, running inside the top 5, having some tremendous runs here in Kansas. We continue to lead, trying to hold them off here down the front straightaway, heading to turn 1 and 2. Enfinger falls back now to 4th place. Daniel Dye's going to get a run us here through 1 and 2 on the outside lane. Big run for Daniel Dye. We're on the inside. We're going to try to throw. Deegan gives a big shot. We try to throw a block inside. Daniel Dye contacted in the wall. We slide way down the racetrack. We make an incredible save. The 43 of Daniel Dye saves as well. We merge back up onto the racetrack here behind Kyle Busch in front of Stephen Malazzi, but we lose some crucial positions coming to the end of stage 1 as to the line. Daniel Dye will win stage 1 at Kansas in not so good fashion. Haley Deegan second, Enfinger third, Busch, myself the top 5, the Malazzi, Chastain, Ankrum, Majeski, and Kligerman the top 10 in the stage. As we made the mistake, got into Daniel Dye, and then we both got into it and slid, so we lose a lot of spots. So we pit, we jump to the back. Oh, there's Hocevar around. He gets turned by Kligerman, and Hocevar spins back on the racetrack, and the caution will come out. Nearly gets drilled by Matt Crafton, and now the pack is 3 and 4 wide, trying to avoid any incidents. Oh, big wreck, Enfinger, and the 45, I believe, lost it. Upside down goes the 33 of Josh Rayom. A huge hit. Let's see what happened to Rayom. He hits it back at Enfinger, trying to slow down, and then he's going to get absolutely T-boned by Matt Crafton. A hard hit. Sends the 33 of Rayom flipping upside down, flying through the air. Crafton destroyed out of this race, heavily damaged. Let's see what happens here. Looks like we get a little, as we're flying through the middle lane, we bump Lawless Allen, clean him right up into Grant Enfinger, as I did not lift, so I didn't have time to lift, slam the 45, and bang, see there's the 33, Rayom, boom, what a hit. Matt Crafton drills Josh Rayom, sends him upside down in a hellacious crash here as the chaos continues. Here, oh, we slam Daniel Dye, we get our revenge on the 43, and he's cleaned out with Kaz Gralla here in Kansas. As we were continuing to charge through the field with so much momentum through the middle, I just slammed Daniel Dye because I was done with him after the end of the stage 1. I was a little frustrated You know, I was really the one who made the mistake, but I was kind of frustrated that it was Daniel Dye who had sent us down the racetrack. So I just junked him right there, you know. Gave him a shot in the back bumper, sent him up the racetrack into the wall where he definitely could not save it. Slams that wall hard, right back down the track. Doors Nick Sanchez and spins right in front of the one of Kaz Grala. Luckily, no other trucks are involved. But see, we had such a big run, and boom! I was not lifting for Daniel Dye at all. And that is why we have our third incident under this one caution flag. It all started with most of our spinning down the front stretch after we had a bit of a rough restart, sacked up the guys behind us. Then you had the 33 of Rayom go upside down in that huge crash with Wallace Allen. Then we punted Daniel Dye. And now, after all that, we get back underway here with 21 laps to go on turn one. We were at the back after pitting, so now we got to charge our way right back through the field like we did before. This time, we're going to try not to wreck as we get a big run on the back of Kyle Busch. Chastain, we check up to avoid. Kyle Busch gets into Chastain. He turns them into the outside wall. They're wrecking in front of us, and we just barely avoid. Chastain, oh, Carruth piles in. Hosts of our round as well, as we just narrowly avoided Ross Chastain and Kyle Busch spinning right in front of us. To see, Kyle Busch came down into Chastain because I was on his outside for a second. I checked up to avoid wrecking, and then Kyle just turns Chastain up on the wall. They get hooked together. They spin. I go into Zane Smith. I just get a piece of Kyle Busch with myself, and Zane still escapes scot-free. Then Roger Carruth head-on collision into Chastain, and then they all stack up behind him. Host of our De Benedetto and Dean Thompson, they all pile in. They're all involved in this incident as well. As you see, it's just kind of a race. So see, I came there to Kyle Busch. He checks up into Chastain, and that's really what starts. It's me going on the outside. So I lift to try to avoid it, but at that point, it's too late for the 51 and the 41. They're already into each other. They're sliding, so I do whatever I can to avoid. Zane Smith forces us off the track. We just hit the back of Kyle Busch, and somehow Kyle Busch isn't anybody, but Chastain is not as fortunate as Carruth, host of our De Benedetto, pile into the incident as well. Get one last full look at it here. And just honestly, a racing incident right there. That's all I can really explain that one as. Is I never touched any of them until just clipping Kyle Busch right there. But really, it was mainly just Busch going down the track due to me being there on his outside is really what caused it. And then we're still tearing it up through the outside of the pack here, coming out of turn 4, way up into the fence, making pass. If we bump Friesen the wall, 4 wide pass to the line. We're sliding. Somehow holding on to a top 10 spot line. We're just, getting the side of Ankrum and Rhodes here going in the corner. We slide up the 99. We both spin down the track going a little bit too high and clip Ankrum, and Ankrum is around behind us. A little bit of a little post-caution activities there. Not what I intended to do. Then I get back underway here. 16 laps to go on lap 26. Oh, Brett Holmes gets into us, turns us to the outside wall. We're down the track into Friesen and Heim, and we're crashing. And the caution is out here in Kansas as we spin down the racetrack with Corey Heim and Stuart Friesen after getting turned in the outside wall by Brett Holmes. We come down the track trying to save it. Friesen, Heim, nowhere to go. They get collected and get spun around as well. And Jethro blocking Brett Holmes, he just then turned us in the outside wall hard. We come down trying to avoid it, slamming back in the wall, and of course collect Friesen and Heim unnecessarily. So that brings out the caution. Now moving to just 10 laps to go on lap 32. We are going to go way on the outside of Corey Heim, up to the outside wall. Contact. What a save. Almost cost inside. The Casgrella fences himself on our outside. 3 wide now going the inside of Chase Purdy and Zane Smith. We passed both of them easily. So now the outside of Stuart Friesen. Go by him. Working on the outside of Majeski, Holmes, Malazzi and Hill, and now going on the outside of 99 of Ben Rhodes. We pass him for second. Now going for the lead in the 75 Parker Kligerman. We will take the lead here down the front stretch here at Kansas with just 9 laps to go. So we lead Parker Kligerman over Ben Rhodes in third as well. As Kligerman now comes back to our inside, but we clear him here into turn 1 and 2, and now we move on towards down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. Kligerman in the same lap 32. Kligerman gets a run behind us. We hold that run off as Kligerman and Rhodes trying to mount a charge here, coming to just 8 laps to go in Kansas. Can we get the win in our 3rd win of the season? As we take 8 laps to go, Kligerman a big run behind us. He closes into our outside. We throw a huge block at Kligerman. He goes to the inside now into 1 and 2. We make him check up and we clear him and hold on to the position. But Kligerman and Rhodes are not done. They're still mounting their charges, trying to make a move on us. Kligerman, big run down the back straightaway on us. With momentum, we go way down to block. He goes way down to the apron. I mean, how low can you go? Kligerman way 2 lanes down the apron. Checks up, is still full throttling it, and somehow comes out of that still in the top 5, but he drops back there to block the 99 of Ben Rhodes, coming to just 7 laps to go in Kansas. They are hungry behind us. They are coming after us. We have to be throwing some huge blocks. Rhodes way to our outside. We block that. He goes to our inside. We cover that off as well, as Ty Majeski has now jumped into contention in third. Now he checks up on the apron, allows Kligerman to move back into third. So we continue to try to block the 99 of Ben Rhodes, who pulls to our inside here down the backstretch. We're trying to throw a huge block once again way down the racetrack onto the apron. How low can you go? V2. Rhodes is still full throttling on the apron. He comes back on the track in third. We hold off Kligerman through 3 and 4, but he's going to have a run here coming to 6 laps to go. And Kansas Kligerman to our inside through the grass. Kligerman, a pass in the grass for the lead with 6 to go. Unbelievable move by Kligerman. And we cross him over and send it way deep into 1 and 2 slide way up the racetrack in the 75 of Kligerman here. We are going to clear him with that move somehow narrowly and fencing him just a little bit. Aggressive, incredible racing here in Kansas. Once again, side by side for the lead into 3 and 4, coming to just 5 laps to go in Kansas. We clear Kligerman. Rhodes gives us a draft up the racetrack. We go, but we clear the 75. Rhodes now to our inside. We now pinch him down. He goes through the grass. We narrowly edge him out at the line. But now it's a 3-way battle for the lead. Myself, Rhodes, and Kligerman. We go try to cross over, but Kligerman forces us into a higher line, and we slide way up the racetrack, allowing Majeski to turn underneath us, and Majeski to take the second position here at Kansas as Rhodes now pulls away with the race lead, as we just couldn't hold on for so much longer. I mean, we were really fighting hard, trying to hold them off, but at some point the AI is going to fly right past us, and we drop back to third now, coming to just 4 laps to go. The battles, they're hard. We tried everything, but now here it is. 4 laps to go in Kansas. Big run behind us for third. Here comes Stephen Malozzi in the 22 truck. He's got to run to our inside. He tries to make something happen, and he's going to go to our inside. We're going to full throttle get by. We clear him, make him check up big time, hold him off. Kligerman now powers by into 4th place as Rhodes and Majeski are trying to battle it out for the lead and for the win here in Kansas as we try to block the 75 machine of Kligerman. As we move our way here through 3 and 4 for the final, not the final time, 3 and 4 coming to just 3 laps to go. Rhodes and Majeski, we gain time, but 3 to go here in Kansas. We are closing in on Rhodes and Majeski, trying everything we can here to turn 1 and 2. We get some momentum back there, side by side for the lead. We send it way deep into the corner. Kligerman's behind us. We slide up ahead of him, and we are going to go way up the track into the wall. We come down the track into Malozzi. We get hit back up into the wall hard. Malozzi's wrecking. We're into Kyle Busch. We're sliding into the wall again. We save it, but we lose all our positions as the caution comes out. This will be the race-ending caution as they race back to the line. Unbelievable turn of events here as we were pushing it too hard, stood up the track, then came down off the wall into the 22 of Stephen Malozzi, hit the wall, and then hit the 51 of Kyle Busch, tried to save it, but then we already turned up the outside wall, bounced off the wall again, and then we finally saved it. But a disastrous turn of events here in Kansas as I was just really trying to get back to Majeski and Rhodes, pushed it too hard, got up in the wall, got in there significantly, tried to come down the track, clipped the 22 truck down to Kyle Busch, and we were getting hit into the wall we go, and narrowly avoid getting pounded again by Tyler Ankrum. We'll still recover a top 10 finish, but definitely not what we wanted today. We end up 11th at the line, and then we slam the Ankrum, and Dean Thompson go crashing afterwards, collect Brett Holmes in an act of frustration, but to the line to take the checkered flag. Ben Rhodes wins in Kansas. Kligerman runner up, Majeski third, Heim, Purdy, Tyler Hill, Kyle Busch, myself, Kaz Grala, and the 38 of Zane Smith, your top 10 here at Kansas. Ben Rhodes wins. He's in the playoffs. He is our 3rd different winner, besides, of course, myself and Jack Wood. Oh, sorry, 4th different winner, besides myself, Jack Wood, and Stuart Friesen. Afterwards, we get into Parker Kligerman, a little bit of frustration of how the end of that race played out. You know, just typical, idiotic bozo moves after the race ended, It's all that kind of stupidness that you typically see me doing after the race. So, nothing new. Typical, and here we go once again. Ben Rhodes now, and we destroy him as well in the process, and boom, we are both junked afterwards. Just some post-race shenanigans for shits and giggles. You know how it is. And so there we go. You see the final race results on the left side of your screen, and we'll see the updated playoff grid shortly after a crushing defeat. And now we look at the updated playoff grid. Of course, Ben Rhodes will slot in 3rd, just ahead of Friesen with his first win on the season. Then guys in on points right now, you'll have Zane Smith, Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, Ty Majeski, Chase Purdy, pretty comfortable off the cut line, and Tyler Ankrum only 4 points to the good over Grant Emfinger. Then just outside of the playoffs is Ross Chastain, Brett Holmes, Matt Crafton, Kaz Grala, Roger Caruth, Christian Eckes, Colby Howard, Matt DiBenedetto, Dean Thompson, and Daniel Dye. So until the next episode, I hope you all have a good one.